Welcome to our JavaScript web course. In this video, I would like to show you some examples of where JavaScript is used in the web. I would also like to show you where JavaScript is not used. We can create a lot of interactivity using CSS. For example, when I hover over these links, we see a submenu. That is accomplished using CSS and positioning. You do not need JavaScript to do this. This box was placed here using CSS and positioning. You did not need JavaScript to put that box there. However, if I click the X and the box disappears, that is accomplished using JavaScript. A good way to tell the difference, if it's accomplished using a mouse over, it is CSS. If it's accomplished using a click, it is JavaScript. When I resize this browser window, my navigation turns into a three-line menu. That is accomplished using CSS. In order to see that menu, I need to click on the three lines. That click can only be accomplished using JavaScript. And when I click to close the menu, again, that is accomplished using JavaScript. Now here is another example. Here we see a login screen. Notice that in the two text boxes, we have a placeholder. That is pure HTML. When I click into the text box, notice the placeholder moves up and the formatting is different. You might think that is JavaScript because I clicked, however, it is CSS. In CSS, we have numerous pseudo classes, including the focus pseudo class. Therefore, we can apply a style when that pseudo class is present and change the appearance of the placeholder. On the right-hand corner, I have a chat box. When I click on that chat box, I can expand it, and when I click on the X, I can collapse it. This expand and collapse is commonly accomplished using JavaScript. Again, we are clicking. A very common and very important use of JavaScript is with HTML forms in validating the data being entered. For example, when I click the Create New Account, again, I'm clicking a button, a screen appears, that was accomplished using JavaScript, and we see we have several text boxes, we have some radios, and we have a few drop-down lists. If I click the Sign Up button, notice I have some messages and some formatting. Much of this formatting is accomplished using CSS. However, how the form knows that the first name field is not filled in is with JavaScript. The JavaScript adds the CSS to indicate that there is an error. I'm sure you've all filled in forms, and as you fill them in, you get these error messages telling you that something is incorrect. This is a very useful and very important function that is accomplished using JavaScript. JavaScript can be used to work with dates, and here we see a countdown to a certain date on this web page. JavaScript is also very commonly used to create image slideshows, such as what we see here. Notice it automatically goes on its own, or I can advance the slide using a click. And finally, we see this collapse and expand effect commonly used with JavaScript, where we click an arrow to see more content, the arrow changes, and then we click it again to collapse that content. So these are some common uses of JavaScript in the web page. JavaScript is a client-sided language, meaning that it's all interpreted by the browser, and it interacts directly with the items on the web page, with the text, with the images, even with the HTML code, and also with the CSS code. It is used to alter or modify the web page, the layout, or the content.